Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about meal prepping.
Run.
This is Jerry Dean, and welcome to my channel where I talk about the keto lifestyle, staying healthy and fit, and just give you general advice to become the better version of yourself. So first thing I want to talk about is the schedule of meal prepping. What I've noticed that I know a lot of people try to meal prep, on Sunday, they meal prep for the entire week. And I've actually tried to do that. And I'm going to talk about a little bit what works for me. I've noticed that I don't really like food when it's that old. So what works for me is on Sundays, I actually meal prep just for Monday and Tuesday. And for on Tuesday night, I actually meal prep for Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, typically I actually go out to eat both breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's just some personal preference. Fridays, I kind of not necessarily a cheat day, but it's a day where I won't eat my own food, so it's a little bit nicer, to do that. And it's restaurant food, but again I do that because I don't really like the soggy food or food that's kind of already a bit old. I notice that tends to happen if you meal prep for the entire week, and for me, it's just my wife and I, so I meal prep for her, and it still is a lot of food, but I'll actually only meal prep breakfast, lunch, and maybe dinner every now and then. But breakfast and lunch is the ones that I do the most because we're at work. I do love to eat fish. I don't actually meal prep that, and I don't take that for lunch. Usually because I don't, want to be that guy at work who kind of microwaves fish and kind of stinks up the whole office. That's just again personal preference. And that's the thing, about everything that I talk about. You have to kind of find out what works for you. To me, that works better. Again, meal prepping just 2 days at a time. Also, actually, another thing too is I really like to cook. I enjoy cooking a lot, so I don't mind, mixing different recipes and stuff like that. I know a lot of people say that too. They say, well, I get tired of it. I get kind of tired of the same old stuff, and I don't see how that is, especially when, like me, for instance, I play around a lot with sauces. If let's say I'm just eating chicken, so chicken is very simple to get, tired of. But what I do is one day I do lemon pepper chicken, another day I do maybe teriyaki chicken. I try to stay away from teriyaki and barbecue sauce a little bit just because of the sugar content. But you can do chicken with hot sauce. I've gotten so much sauces, just kind of here and there from markets, and I try and play around with, and it really does change the taste of the chicken, even though it's the same protein. I do kind of play around with it, and that gives you, your taste buds some excitement. Some of the stuff that I buy every time I go grocery shopping, which is usually on the weekends. I try to go like on a Tuesday just because there's less crowds, but most of the time I end up doing it on the weekends too. What I do with that, I always have the go-to stuff. I buy a huge tin of spinach. I buy an onion, huge onion, carrots. I'll buy mint leaves, bell pepper. I'll do cherry tomatoes, and then I'll also do mushrooms. And that is something that you can play with pretty much everything. You can use that for all kinds of meals: breakfast, lunch, dinners, whatever you want. Great on salads too. Also buy cucumbers, sorry. And with those vegetables like that, you're eating that. I eat that constantly. And I also buy those dried bell peppers, or those dried, they're kind of like salad toppers. I do that. And sometimes I don't even use a lot of dressing for my salads. What I do instead is I use the juice of the chicken, usually if it's hot sauce or, like I said, teriyaki sauce or whatever. I use that same juice for my salads. And that's the thing too, I play around with that. I play around. Sometimes I do a salad, sometimes I just do straight vegetables. And you can do that. I know in the beginning of the video you saw some pictures of what I meal prep. And normally what I do that's easier and is fast is omelets. I'm sorry, not an omelet, but first I saute some onions. I throw in some bell peppers. I throw in some mushrooms and saute them on a little bit of oil. Usually I do avocado seed oil, or sesame seed oil, or one of those, a little bit grape seed oil, one of those healthier ones. And as I'm grilling that, I throw in some eggs. That already, that's 2 meals, 2 breakfasts. So again, because my wife too, I do 4. And then I do so that's usually my breakfast, usually eggs, and then I do some type of protein. So if you want to stay with the frozen stuff, you can do that because it's faster and it's easier. But I try to stay away from that because I know it usually has a lot of preservatives. But I'll do bacon. But again, just small sizes, 3 slices of bacon or two. Real bacon though. I'll do sausage, maybe two patties or two links. I'll do turkey, ham, honey ham, which has a little bit of sugar, but it's fine. But again, I do just 1 slice or 2 slices. So my breakfast is pretty small, but it's a lot of, the egg is full of vegetables, so you're getting a lot of that, and then you also have a protein there. And then for lunch, usually I do again a piece of protein, and then I do a big salad. So I put a big old bowl of spinach, and then you're talking about carrots, cucumbers, bell peppers, onions, the little dried ones that I told you about, the dried ones, the salad toppers. And sometimes I even put nuts. I put some walnuts. I'll throw in some walnuts or some almonds. And usually that I buy because it's usually my snacks. I buy, bags of almonds, usually all raw, not even any salt. So I'll do walnuts, almonds, pistachios, or pumpkin seeds, or I'll even do sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds I just use for my salads mostly because usually it's hard to find them without any salt. And that's my snack, and some cheese as well. I buy little blocks of cheese, and I just have maybe one, maybe every 2 days or so. And then fruit, obviously, every morning. I buy a big bag of grapes. Usually is what I buy too. I'll buy a big bag of grapes, and I'll do some grapes. Just put a little bit of natural sugar in your body, and that's pretty much it. And again, trying to understand what works for you, what you can't tolerate. Like me, I can't tolerate like soggy, wet, lettuce. That's kind of old. So I do two days at a time. And I try to eat it as fast as I can. So obviously, if buy a big thing of spinach, and I'm doing it for breakfast, I'm doing it for salads, and out for dinner as well, I'm gonna get through that thing pretty fast. And as far as the proteins go, I'll buy a big piece of beef. I'll buy a bunch of chickens, and then I'll grill them all together, or saute them together, and pretty much done with that. I even buy some pork. Pork is actually very underrated, I believe so. It's healthy. It's actually very low on fat. It's pretty, it's easy to make, and it's really good. So it's it's very underrated, I think. And so I do that, and again, what works for you. Another thing that I want to talk about, a little bit of my advice, is when you are meal prepping, just remember, try to kind of put enough food so you won't be hungry. So maybe at first try, put a little bit bigger than normal, but then, start going down and start feeding it, because it's not going to matter if you meal prep and then you end up messing up because you are still hungry. So you go and buy something that's, bad for you. So that can happen. You don't want that to happen. That kind of defeats the purpose. So just remember that. And again, just kind of know yourself and what you want to do. So my typical day actually looks like this. I wake up in the morning. I fill up my jug of water, which is a gallon. I'll drink 2 cups of water. I'll have my breakfast. I'll drink another 2 cups of water. I'll drink a cup of coffee, no sugar, just a little bit of half and half, or the little creamers, the little coffee mates. Then eventually, by the time, I'll drink another 2 cups of water, or maybe another 4 cups, and then I'll have my lunch with maybe 2 cups of water that I don't even put into that gallon, and then I'll have maybe another cup of coffee. And then by the time I get home, I've literally probably already finished a gallon of water, and I've finished, my breakfast and lunch, obviously. And I'll have maybe one snack, which is a handful of nuts or some cheese. And then usually I drink about 3 cups of coffee with no sugar. And I mean, the weight just kind of falls off. One way you can get creative too is by doing, stews. I feel like the crock pot is your best friend. That's very easy to do, and you can make food for days. I've done one for like 3-4 days actually, and that was one of the pictures that you saw in the beginning of the video. I actually made one today. I put a big piece of beef shoulder, throw it in the pot. Again, carrots, mushrooms, bell pepper, onions, some tomatoes. And then I always go out and buy like any type of salsa in a jar that you can find that has a little bit of sugar. You kind of look at the content on that and the sodium, and just throw that in there. Put some salt, pepper, oregano, cumin. What else? I put basil, and then just put it in there. And I literally put it overnight. I'm done with the workout. Next day I wake up, it's completely done, and I'll make that for my wife. And her, she eats rice. I don't do that, but she eats rice, so I put a little bit of rice in some stew. For me, I'll just do the stew because it already has all the vegetables in there, so I don't have to even put a side. I don't need a side for it. I just eat some stew, and it's pretty hearty. It lasts a long time, and it's very fast to make. So there's some little tricks that you can do too, like if you really are kind of pressured on time. But I think that by cutting it up like this, you get fresh food. You're eating a lot of vegetables without even knowing it, especially when you put vegetables in your egg. You don't really notice how much vegetables you're eating. And I don't know if you've noticed how spinach, when you're sauteing it just shrivels. I've literally put 2-3 handfuls of spinach and it looks like this much with egg, and you're kind of eating all that. Also play around with asparagus. I'll do that with aluminum foil and I'll grill it with some butter. Sometimes I do cactus, and I'll get a jar of cactus and I'll put that with egg or maybe as a side. Also play around with maybe zucchini. Cut up zucchini in little pieces and just put a little bit of salt and pepper and some tomato and onions. And again, just having that foundation: tomato, onions, mushrooms, bell pepper. Always sauteing those with any other type of vegetable. So easy to make. You make it fast. You won't get tired of it. Having different sauces in hand, I mean, it makes it so easy that I think in my head, man, how much money are you saving too? Every time I go to the grocery store, I probably just on vegetables it's like $10-$20. On the meats, it's getting a little bit expensive, but I eat for about a week and a half. I look at some of the prices on the menus, when I at my job or anywhere else where at restaurants, and it gets high fast. Friday, like I said, is the only day that I don't meal prep, and I actually go out there and I still eat healthy, but I kind of try other people's food, and I'll have like an omelette somewhere, but again with vegetables. I'll do for lunch I'll do a nice salad with just different kinds of chicken or whatever they're making, their beef, and and again just to kind of have a little bit something different. But it's not because I'm bored, like I'm tired, just that it's Friday, I want to do something different, and just have that mentality in your head that it's a Friday. But I mean, again, this is just my advice. Find out what works for you. If you have any questions or anything like that, please put down in the comments below. I'll be glad to answer them. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. Please press the like button if you found this informative. Press the subscribe button if you want to hear more of my content, and that bell notification, press it if you want to be alerted every time I post another video. Thanks again.